Hi, I'm Ronnie Bell, the Executive Director of Syracuse Shakespeare-In-The-Park, and I welcome you to our 18th season of SSITP, the first one to be presented virtually. First, I want to thank our sponsors, CNY Arts and NISCA, for providing a major community arts grant. Next, SU, the City of Syracuse, Penguin Random House Books, and Loretto for their long-term in-kind support. And last but not least, our monetary sponsors, Gladys Krebel Delmas Foundation, Geddes Federal Savings, Thorndon Park Association, Beer Belly Deli, Price Chopper, Gannon's Isle, Colonial Laundromat, and the Onondaga County Public Library. The playbill for this show is available on our website at ssitp.org and also on our Facebook page, where you'll find lots of info about the show, its cast and production team, including the synopsis, the Friends of SSITP form that supports all of our work, and the audience survey for Love's Labor's Lost. At intermission, I will be asking you to make a pay-what-you-will donation to our actors, and at the end of the show, I'll be asking you to fill out the audience survey so we can get your feedback. Thanks for letting us perform in your home tonight, and now the SSITP production of Love's Labor's Lost. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Fame that all hunt after in their lives live registered upon our brazen tombs, and then grace us in the disgrace of death, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against your own affections and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world. Our court shall be a little academe, still and contemplative in living art. You three, Berowne, Dumain, and Longaville, have sworn for 3 years' term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oath is passed. Now subscribe your names.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years' fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits.
My loving lord, Dumain is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die with all these living in philosophy.
I can but say their protestation over. So much, dear liege, I have already sworn, that is to live and study here 3 years, but there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that time, which I hope well is not enrolled there, and 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, which I hope is not enrolled there, and then to sleep but 3 hours in a night, and not be seen to wink of all the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see ladies, study, fast, not sleep.
Your oath is passed to pass away from these.
And let me say no, my liege, and if you please, I only swore to study with your grace, and stay here in your court for 3 years' space.
You swore to that, Berowne, and to the rest.
By yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the end of study? Let me know.
Why, that to know which else we should not know.
Things hid and barred, you mean, from common sense?
Aye, that is study's godlike recompense.
And then I will swear to study so, to know the thing I am forbid to know, and thus to study where I well may dine, when I to feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid. Or, having sworn too hard, a keeping oath, study to break it, and not break my throat.
These be the stops that hinder study quite, and train our intellects to vain delight.
Why, all delights are vain, but that most vain with which pain purchased doth inherit pain. These earthly godfathers of heaven's lights that give a name to every fixed star have no more profits of their shining nights than those that walk and what not what they are.
How well he's read, to reason against reading.
Proceeded well to stop all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn, yet still lets grow the weeding.
Berowne is like an envious sneaping frost that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Oh, say I am, and why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing? Why should I joy in any aborted birth? At Christmas I no more desire a rose than wish a snow in May's newfangled mirth, but like of each thing that in season grows.
Well, get you out. Go home, Berowne. Adieu.
No, my good lord, I have sworn to stay with you. Give me the paper, let me read the same, and to the strictest degree I'll write my name. Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue, who devised this penalty?
Mary, that did I.
Sweet lord, and why?
What to fright them hence with the dread penalty?
A dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise. This article, my liege, yourself must break. For well you know, here comes in embassy the French king's daughter, with yourself to speak, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bedrid father. Therefore this article is made in vain, or else vainly comes the admired princess hither.
What say you, lords? Why, this was quite forgot.
No, study evermore is overshot. And when it hath the thing it hunteth most, 'tis one as towns with fire, so won, so lost.
We must of force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity.
Necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times within this 3 years' space. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So, to the laws at large, I'll write my name. And he that breaks them in the least degree stands an attainder of eternal shame. But is there no quick recreation granted?
Aye, that there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a traveler of Spain, Don Armado, a man in all the world's new fashion planted that hath a mint of phrases in his brain, one whom the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish like enchanting harmony. How you delight, my lords, I know not I, but I protest, I love to hear him lie, and I will use him for my minstrelsy.
Costard the Swain, and he shall be our sports. And so to study 3 years is but short.
Which is the Duke's own person?
This fellow? What wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his gracious Starborough, and I must see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he.
Ah, Senor Armanet commends you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
Sir, the contempts thereof are as touching me.
A letter from the magnificent Armado.
Hello, soever the matter, I hope in God for high words.
The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Jaquenetta. The manner of it is, I was taken with the manner.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As we would hear an oracle.
Such is the simplicity of man to hearken after the flesh.
Great deputy, the Welkin's vicegerent and sole dominator of Navarre, my soul's earth's god and body's fostering patron.
Not a word of Costard yet.
Peace.
It may be so, but if he say it is so, he isn't telling true, but so. Peace
No.
be to me and every man that dare not fight.
No words.
Of other men's secrets, I beseech you.
So it is. besieged with sable-colored melancholy, I did commend the black oppressing humor to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air, and, as I am a gentleman, betook myself to walk. The time when, about the 6th hour, when beasts most graze, birds best peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. Then for the place where I mean, I did encounter that obscene and preposterous event that draweth from my snow-white pen the ebon-colored ink, which here thou viewest, beholdest, surveyest, or seest. But to the place where it standeth north, northeast, and by east, from the west corner of thy curious knotted garden, there did I see that low-spirited swain.
Me?
Base minnow of thy mirth,
Me?
that unlettered, small knowing soul,
Still me.
that shallow vassal, which, as I remember, hight Costard,
Oh, me.
sordid and consorted, contrary to thy established proclaimed edict and continent canon, which with a
With a winch.
of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as ever my esteemed duty pricks me on, have sent to thee to receive the meed of punishment by thy sweet grace's officer, Anthony Dull.
Me, ain't to please you, I am Anthony Dull.
For Jaquenetta, so is the weaker vessel called, which I apprehend with the aforesaid swain, I keep her as a vessel of the law's fury, thine in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning heat of duty, Don Adriano de Armado.
This is not so well as I looked for, but the best that ever I heard.
Aye, the best or the worst. But, Sirrah, what say you to this?
I do confess the winch, sir.
Did you hear the proclamation?
I heard much of the hearing it, but little of the marking of it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel.
Well, it was proclaimed, damsel.
This was no damsel neither, sir. She was a virgin.
It's so very too, for it was proclaimed virgin.
Oh, if it were, I'd deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid.
This maid will not serve your turn, sir.
This maid will serve my turn, sir.
I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran and water.
I'd rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My lord Berowne, see him delivered o'er. And go we, lords, to put in practice that which each to other hath so strongly sworn.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on.
I suffer for the truth, sir, for true it is I was taken with Jaquenetta, and Jaquenetta is a true girl. Therefore, welcome the sour cup of prosperity.
Hey, boy, what a sign is it when a man of a great spirit grows melancholy.
Great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why, sadness is one and the self-same thing, dear imp.
Oh, no. Oh, Lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and the melancholy, my tender juvenile?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor.
Why a tough signor, eh? Why a tough signor?
Why, tender juvenile? Why, tender juvenile?
I spoke it, the tender juvenile, as a congruent epithet appertaining to thy younger days, which we may nominate the tender.
And I, tough signor, as of apperent title to your old time, which we may name Tough.
Pretty and apt.
How mean you, sir? I pretty and my saying apt, or I apt and my saying pretty?
Thou pretty because little.
Little pretty because little. Wherefore apt.
And therefore apt. I have promised to study 3 years with the Duke.
You may do it in an hour, sir.
Impossible.
How many is one thrice told?
I am ill at reckoning. It fitteth the spirit of a tapster.
You are a gentleman and a gamester, sir.
I confess both are the varnish of a complete man.
Then I am sure you know how much the gross deuce ace amounts to.
It doth amount to one more than two.
Which the base vulgar do call 3.
Ah, true, 3.
Why, sir, is this such a piece of study? Now here is 3 studied ere you'll thrice wake. And how easy is it to put 3 to the word years and study 3 years in 2 words? The dancing horse will tell you.
A most fine figure. I will hereupon confess I am in love. And while it is base for a soldier to love, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the humor of affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take Desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a new devised courtesy. I think scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Oh, comfort me, a boy. What a great man have been in love.
Hercules, master.
Oh, sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy. Name of more. And, sweet my child, let them be men of a good repute and carriage.
Samson, master. He was a man of good carriage. Great carriage. For he carried the town gates on his back like a porter, and he was in love.
Oh, well meet the Samson, a strong, a jointed Samson. I do excel thee at my rapier as much as thou didst me at carrying gates. I am in love too with that country girl I took in the park. With that rational hind to start, she deserves well.
To be wit and yet a better love than my master.
Ding, boy, my spirit grows heavy in love.
And that's a great marvel, loving a light wench.
I say sing.
Forbear to this company be passed.
Sir, it is the Duke's own pleasure that you must keep Costard safe, and must suffer him to take no delight nor no penance, or must fast 3 days a week. As for this damsel, I am to keep her at the park. She is allowed for the day, woman. Fare you well.
I do betray myself with blushing. Maid,
Man.
I will visit thee at the law.
Hereby.
I know where it is situated.
Lord, how wise you are!
I will tell thee a wonder.
With that face?
I love thee.
So I've heard you say.
And so Farewell.
Fair weather after you.
Come, Jaquenetta, away.
Villain! Thou shalt fast for thy offences ere thou be pardoned.
Well, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach.
Thou shalt be heavily punished. Take away this villain, lock him up.
Come, you transgressing slave, away!
Well, let me be not pent up, sir. I will fast, being loose.
No, sir, that were fast and loose. Thou shalt to prison.
Well, if I ever do see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see.
What shall some see?
Nay, nothing, Master Moth, but what they look upon. It is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words. Then, therefore, I will say nothing.
To effect the very ground in which is base, where her shoe, which is baser, guided by her foot, which is basest, doth tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood. If I love is a familiar, love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet was Samson so tempted, and he had an excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. A Cupid's a butt shaft, a twang, is too hard for Hercules. A club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. And you, valor, a rust rapier, be still grown, for your manager is in love. Yea, ye love, come, some extempore god of rhyme, for I am sure I will turn sonnet.
Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirit. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what's his embassy. Yourself held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe, matchless Navarre. The plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen. So be now as prodigal of all dear graces nature was in making graces dear, when she did starve the general world beside, and prodigally gave them all to you.
Good Lord Boyer, my beauty, though but mean, needs not the painted flourish of your praise. I am less proud to hear you tell my worth than you much willing to be counted wise in spending your wit on the praise of mine. But now to task the tasker, good Boyer. Navarre hath made a vow, till painful study shall outwear 3 years, no woman may approach his silent court. Therefore, too seemeth it a needful course, before we enter his forbidden gates, to know his pleasure.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
Who are the votaries, my loving lord, that are vow fellows with this virtuous duke?
Lord Longaville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madam. At a marriage feast in Normandy saw I this Longaville. A man of sovereign parts he is esteemed, well fitted in arts, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss is a sharp wit matched with too blunt a will.
Some merry mocking lord, belike is it so?
They say so most, but most his humours know.
Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest?
The young Dumain, a well-accomplished youth of all that virtue loved for virtue loved. Most power to do most harm, least knowing ill, for he hath wit to make an ill shape good, and shape to win grace, though he had no wit.
Another of these students at that time was there with him, if I have heard a truth. Berowne, they call him. But a merrier man I never spent an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit, for every object that the one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceits expositor, delivers in such apt and gracious words.
God bless my ladies. Are they all in love, that every one her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise?
Here comes Boyer.
Now, what admittance, lord?
Navarre hath notice of your fair approach, and now he means to lodge you in the field, like one that comes here to besiege his court. Here comes Navarre.
Princess, welcome to the court of Navarre.
Fair, I give you back again, and welcome I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
I will be welcome then. Conduct me thither.
Hear me, dear lady. I have sworn an oath.
Ah, Our Lady help our Lord. He'll be forsworn. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But, pardon me, I am too sudden bold to teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming, and suddenly resolve me in my suit.
Madam, I will, if suddenly I may.
You will the sooner that I were away, for you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
I know you did.
How needless was it then to ask the question?
Oh, you must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions.
Your wit's too hot. Speed's too fast. 'Twill tire.
Not till it leave the rider in the mire.
What time of day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Now before your mass.
Oh, fair fall the face it covers.
And send you many lovers.
Oh, men, so you be none.
Nay, then will I be gone?
Madam, your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, being but the 1/2 of an entire sum dispersed by my father in his wars. If then the king your father will restore but that 1/2 which is unsatisfied, we will give up our right in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with his majesty. But that, it seems, he little purposeth. For here he doth demand to have repaid 100,000 crowns, and not demands, on payment of 100,000 crowns, to have his title live in Aquitaine. Dear princess, were not his request so far from reason's yielding, your fair self should make a yielding against some reason in my breast, and go well satisfied to France again.
You do the king, my father, too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name, in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which hath so faithfully been paid.
I do protest. I never heard of it, and if you prove it, I'll repay it back or yield up Aquitaine. Meantime, receive such welcome at my hand as honor without breach of honor, may make tender of to thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates. But here without, you shall be so received as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart. Tomorrow shall we visit you again.
Sweet health and fair desires consort your grace.
Thy own wish I thee in every place.
Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart.
Pray you, do my commendations. I would be glad to see it.
I would you heard it groan.
Is the fool sick?
Sick at the heart.
Alack, let it blood.
Would that do it good?
My physic says I.
Will you pricked with your eye?
No point, with my knife.
God save thy life.
And yours for long living.
I cannot stay. Thanksgiving.
I pray you, sir, a word. What lady is that same?
The heir of Alençon, Catherine her name.
A gallant lady. Monsieur, fare you well.
I beseech you, sir, a word. What is she in the white?
A woman, sometimes, and you saw her in the light.
Pray, whose daughter?
Her mother's, I have heard.
God's blessing upon your beard.
Oh, good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Nay, my choler is ended. She is a most sweet lady.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosalind, my good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, sir, or so.
You are welcome, sir, and you.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
That last is Berowne, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him, but a jest.
And every jest but a word.
It was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was as willing to grapple as he was to board.
2 hot sheeps, Mary.
And wherefore not ships? No sheep, sweet lamb, unless we feed on your lips.
You sheep and I pasture. Shall that finish the jest?
So you grant pasture to me?
Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common, though several they be.
Good wits will be jangling, but gentles agree. This civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
If my observation, which is very seldom lies, deceive me not now, Navarre is affected.
With what?
With that which we lovers entitle infected.
Your reason?
Why, all his behavior did make the retire to the court of his eye, preparing, peeping through desire. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye, as jewels in crystal for some prince to buy.
Come to our pavilion. Boyer is disposed.
I only made a mouth of his eye by adding a tongue which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old love-monger, and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather, and learns news of him.
Oh, then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim.
Do you hear, mad wenches?
No.
Well, what then do you see?
I our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
They're horrible child. They make a passionate my sense. Oh, but here.
Consonne.
Wait. Ah, sweet air. Go, a tenderness of years. Take this key. Give enlargement to the swain. Bring him affectionately hither. I must employ him in a letter too. my lord.
Master, will you win your love with a French brawl?
How meanest thou, brawling in French?
No, my complete master. But to tick off a tune at the tongue's end, canary to it with your feet, humor it by turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometimes to the throat as if you swallowed love by singing love, sometimes through the nose as if you snuffed up love by smelling love.
But
yours is for God.
Callest thou my love hobby horse?
No, master. The hobby horse is but a colt, and your love perhaps a hackney. But have you forgotten your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student! Learn her by heart.
By heart and in the heart, boy.
And out of heart, master.
Fetch hither the swain. He must carry me a letter.
As swift as lead, sir.
The meaning, pretty ingenious, is not lead a metal, heavy, dull, and slow.
You are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow which is fired from a gun?
Ha! Sweet the smoke of rhetoric. He reputes me a cannon, and the bullet that's a he. I shoot you at the swain.
Then did I flee.
A most acute woman now, valuable and free of grace. By thy favor, sweet Belkin, I must sigh in thy face. A most rude and melancholy, valor gives thee a place. My herald is returned.
Oh, wonder, master. Here's a costard broken in a shin.
Some enigma, some riddle. Come, thy l'envoy, begin.
No, Egmont, no riddle, no l'envoy. No salve in the mail, sir. Oh, sir. Blondine, a plain blondine. No l'envoy, no l'envoy. No salve, sir, but a blondine.
By virtue, thou enforcest laughter. Thy silly thought of my scream. The heaving of my lungs provokes me to a ridiculous smiling. Pardon me, my stars. Doth the inconsiderate take salve for l'envoy and the word l'envoy for salve?
Do the wise think them other? Is not l'envoy a salve?
Oh, no, page. It is an epilogue or a discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that hath tofore been seen. I will example it. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds being but three. There's the moral, now the l'envoy.
Until the goose came out of door and stayed the odds by adding 4. The fox, the ape, and the humble bee were still at odds being but 3.
The goose came out the door, staying the odds by adding 4.
Sir, your pennyworth is good on your goose beef.
Come hither, come hither. How did this argument begin?
By saying that a costard was broken in a shin and called you for the l'envoy.
True, and I for a plantain. Thus came your argument in. Then the boy sat l'envoy, and the goose that you bought. Then he ended the market.
Sirrah Costard, I give thee thy freedom, and in lieu thereof impose on thee a nothing but a this. Bear this significant to the country maid, the Jaquenetta, and there is remuneration for the best word of mine honor is rewarding my dependents. Moth, follow.
Like the sequel, I, Signor Costard, are you?
Oh, now, while I look to his remuneration. Oh, remuneration. That's the Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings, remuneration. What's the price of this ankle? 1 penny. No, I'll give you a remuneration. Why, it carries it. Remuneration. It's a fairer name than French crown. I will never buy and sell out this word.
Oh, good name, Costard. Exceedingly well met.
I pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, 8 penny farthing.
Why then 3 farthing worth of silk?
I thank your worship. God be with you.
Stay, slave. I must employ thee. Do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When would you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Well, I will do it. Fare you well.
Thou knowest not what it is.
I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Right, villain, thou must know first. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady, and Rosaline they call her. Ask for her. And to her white hand see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon. Go.
Guerdon? Most sweet guerdon. Better than remuneration, 11 pence farthing better. Oh, sweet guerdon. I shall do it, sir, in print. Guerdon. Remuneration.
And I, forsooth, in love. I that have been love's whip. A critic, nay, a night watch constable. This wimpled, whining, purblind, wayward boy, this senior junior, giant dwarf, Don Cupid, liege of all loiterers and malcontents, dread prince of plackets, king of codpieces, and I would be a corporal of his field, and wear his colors like a tumbler's suit. What, I love, I sue, I seek a wife, nay, to be perjured, which is worst of all. And among 3, to love the worst of all, a whitely wanted with a velvet brow, with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face for eyes, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to. It is a plague. Will love. Write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love milady, and some Joan.
Have our dispatch. Then, Forrester, my friend, where is the bush that we must stand and play the murderer in?
Hereby, upon the edge of yonder coppice, a stand where you may make the fairest shoot.
I thank my beauty that I am fair that shoot. Thereupon thou speakest, the fairest shoot.
Pardon me, madam, for I meant not so.
What? What, first you praise me, and again say no? Oh, surely the cry not fair, alas for woe.
Yes, madam, fair.
Nay, never paint me now, where fair is not, praise cannot mend the brow.
Nothing is fair but that which you inherit.
See, my beauty shall be saved by merit. But come, the bow. Now, where mercy goes to kill, and shooting well is then accounted ill.
Here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
You did all. I pray you, which is the head lady, the greatest lady, the highest?
The thickest and tallest.
The thickest and tallest, so it is. Truth is truth. Are you not the chief woman? You are the thickest here.
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from Monsieur Berowne for one Lady Rosaline.
Letter! He's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good bearer. Boyer, you can carve. Break up this capon.
I am bound to serve. This letter is mistook. It importeth none here. It is written Jaquenetta.
We'll read it, I swear. Break the neck of the wax and everyone give ear.
By heaven that thou art fair is most infallible. True that thou art beauteous. Truth itself that thou art lovely. More fairer than fair, beautiful than beauteous, truer than truth itself. Have commiseration on thy historical vassal, the magnanimous and most illustrious King Confetua, set eye upon the pernicious and indubious beggar Xenophon, and he it was that might rightly say veni vidi vici, which to anathemize in the vulgar, base and obscure vulgar, vede licite. He came, he saw and overcame. He came, 1, saw 2, overcame 3. Who came? The king. Why did he come? To see. What did he see? To overcome. I am the king. For so stands the comparison. Thou the beggar? For so witnesseth thy lowliness? Shall I command thy love? I may. Shall I enforce thy love? I could. Shall I entreat thy love? I will. What shalt thou exchange for rags? Robes? For tittles, titles? For thyself? Me? This? Expecting thy reply, I profane my lips on thy foot, my eyes on thy picture, and my heart on thy every part. Thine in the dearest design of industry, Don Adriano, Don Armado.
Plume of feathers, is he that indited this letter? What vein, what weathercock? Did you ever hear better?
I am much deceived, but I remember the style. This Armado is a Spaniard that keeps here in court a fantissime, a Mercado, one that makes sport to the prince and his bookmates.
Thou fellow, a word. Who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my Lord Berowne, for a lady of France that he called Rosaline.
Thou hast mistaken his letter. Come, Lord, away.
Who is the suitor? Who is the suitor?
Shall I teach you to know?
I, my continent of beauty.
I, she that bears the bow. Finally put off.
My lady goes to kill horns, but if thou marry, hang me by the neck if horns that ye must carry finally put on.
Well, then I am the shooter.
And who is your dear?
Well, if we go by the horns, yourself come not near. Finally put on, indeed.
You still wrangle with her, Boyer, and she strikes at the brow.
But she herself is hit lower. Have I hit her now?
Thou canst not hit it. Thou canst not hit it, my good man.
And I cannot. Another can.
Mark marvelous well shot, for they both did hit it.
Oh, Mark, but that Mark. says my lady. Let that mark have a prick in it, to meet at, if it may be.
Why do the bow hand? In faith, your hand is out.
She's too hard for you at pricks, sir. Challenge her to bow.
I fear too much rubbing. Good night, my good owl.
By my soul, a swain, a most simple clown. My lord, how the ladies and I have put him down. Sola, sola.
Very reverend sport, truly, and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
Oh, the deer was, as you know, sanguis in blood, ripe as the palm water, which now hangeth like a jewel in the ear of Kylo, the sky, the welkin, the heaven, and anon falleth like a crab on the face of terra, the soil, the land, the earth.
Truly, Master Holferns, the epithets are sweetly varied. Like a scholar at the least.
Sir Nathaniel, hold credo.
The deer was not an old gray doe, 'twas a pricket.
Most barbarous intimation, to show his inclination after his undressed, unpolished, uneducated, unpruned, or rather unlettered, or ratherist, unconfirmed fashion, to insert again my hoed credo for a deer.
I said the deer was not an old gray doe, 'twas a pricket.
Twice sod simplicity, bis coctus. Oh, thou monster ignorance, how deformed dost thou look?
Sir, he hath never fed of the dainties that are bred in a book. He hath not eat paper, as it were. He hath not drunk ink. His intellect is not replenished. He is only an animal, only sensible in the stellar parts. And such barren plants are set before us, that we thankful should be, which we of taste and feeling are, for those parts that do fructify in us more than he.
You two are bookmen. By your wit, can you tell me what was a month old at Cain's birth that is not 5 weeks as of yet?
Oh, dictana, good Mandol. Dictana, good Mandol.
What is dictana?
A title to Phoebe, to Luna, to the moon.
The moon was a month old when Adam was no more, and wrought not to 5 weeks when he came to 50. The allusion holds in the exchange.
Indeed, yes, the collusion holds in the exchange.
Oh, God comfort thy capacity. I say the allusion holds in the exchange.
Yes, and I say the collusion holds in the exchange. For the moon is never but a month old. And further, I say 'twas a pricket that the princess killed.
Sir Nathaniel, will you hear an extemporal epitaph on the death of the deer? And to humor the ignorant, call I the deer the princess killed a pricket? I will something affect the letter, for to argue's facility. The prayful princess pierced and pricked a pretty pleasing pricket. Some say a sore, but not a sore, till now made sore with shooting. The dogs did yell, put L to sore, and sorrel jumps from thicket. Or pricket sore, or else sorrel. The people fall a-hooting. If sore be sore, then L to sore makes 50 sores, one sorrel. Of one sore I an 100 make by adding one more L.
A rare talent!
This is a gift that I have. Simple. foolish, extravagant spirit, full of forms, figures, shapes, objects, ideas, apprehensions, motions, revolutions. These are begot in the ventricle of memory, nourished in the womb of pure matter, and delivered upon the mellowing of occasion.
Sir, I praise the Lord for you, and so may my parishioners, for their sons are well tutored by you, and their daughters profit very greatly under you. You are a good member of the Commonwealth.
God give you good morrow, Master Parson. Be so good as read me this letter. It was given me by Costard and sent to me by Don Armado. I beseech you, read it.
Well, let us hear a staff, a stanza, a verse, a lege domine.
If love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? Never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself were sworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. Those thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. If knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue that well can thee commend. Celestial as thou art, O pardon, love, this wrong, that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
You find not the apostrophes, and so miss the accent. But, Demoiselle Virgin, was this directed to you?
I, sir, from one Monsieur Berowne, one of the strange Queen's lords.
I will overglance the superscript. To the snow-white hand of the most beauteous Lady Rosaline. I will look again on the intellect of the letter, for the nomination of the party writing to the person written unto. Your ladyship's in all desired employment, Berowne. Well, Sir Nathaniel, this Berowne is one of the votaries with the king, and here he hath framed a letter to a sequent of the stranger queens, which accidentally, or by the way of progression, hath miscarried. Trip and go, my sweet. Deliver this paper into the royal hand of the king. It may concern much.
Good Costard, go with me, sir. God save your life.
Have with thee, my girl.
I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where if before repast it shall please you to gratify the table with a grace, I will beseech your society.
And thank you too, for society, saith the text, is the happiness of life.
Sir, I do invite you to. Thou shalt not say me nay, pauca verba. Away, the gentles are at their game, and we will to our recreation.
King, he is coursing the deer. I am hunting myself. They have pitched a toil. I am toiling in a pitch. A pitch that defiles. A foul word. Well, set thee down, sorrow. For so they say, the fool said, and so say I. I, the fool, well proven wit. Oh, by heaven, this love is as mad as Ajax. It kills sheep. It kills me. I, sheep. Well, prove it again on my side. Oh, I will not love. If I do, hang me. If hate, I will not. Go, but her eye. By this light, but for her eye, I would not love her. Yes, for her 2 eyes. Oh, by heaven, I do love, and it hath taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy. And, well, she hath one of my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady. Oh, here comes one with a paper. God give him grace to groan. Why me? Shot by heaven! Proceed, sweet Cupid! Thou hast thumped him with thy bird bolts under the left pap. In faith, secrets.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye-beams, when their fresh rays have smote the night of dew that on my cheeks downflows. O Queen of Queens, how far dost thou excel? No thought can think, nor tongue of mortal tell. How shall she know my griefs? I'll drop the paper. Sweet leaves, shade folly. What? Who is he comes here? What Longaville? And reading, listen, ear.
Now in thy likeness one more fool appear.
Ay me, I am forsworn.
He comes in like a purger, wearing papers.
Love, I hope, sweet fellowship in shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
O sweet Maria, empress of my love, did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eyes persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows for thee broke deserve not punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove, thou being a goddess, I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me.
This is the liver vein which makes flesh a deity.
By whom shall I send this? Come, stay.
All hid, an old infant play, like a demigod. Here sit I in the sky, more sacks to the mill. By heavens, I have my wish. Dumain transformed, 4 woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate.
Oh, most profane coxcomb.
Oh, that I had my wish.
And I had mine.
And I mine too, good Lord.
Amen, so I had mine. Is not that a good word?
Once more I'll read the ode that I hath writ. On a day, alack the day, love whose month is ever May, spied a blossom passing fair. Played in the wanton air, that the lover sick to death wish himself the heaven's breath. But alack, my hand is sworn ne'er to pluck thee from thy thorn. Oh, this will I send. Oh, that the king, Berowne, and Longaville were lovers too.
Dumain! Thy love is far from charity. You look pale, but I should blush, I know, to be overheard and taken napping so.
Come, sir, you blush, as your case is such. You chided him, offending twice as much. I heard your guilty rhymes, observed your fashion, saw sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. Ay me, says one. Oh Jove, the other cries. One, her hairs were gold, crystal, the other's eyes. You would for paradise break faith and troth, and Jove for your love would infringe an oath. What will Berowne say when that he shall hear faith so infringed, which such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap, and laugh at it? I would not have him know so much by me.
Ah, good my liege, I pray thee, pardon me. Dear heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving that art most in love? Your eyes do make no poaches, in your tears there is no certain princess that appears. Are you not ashamed? Nay, are you not, all 3 of you, to be thus much o'ershot? You found his mote, and the king your mote did see, but I a beam do find in each of 3. Oh, me! With what strict patience have I sat, to see a king transformed to a gnat, to see great Hercules whipping a jig, and profound Solomon to tune a jig. Oh, where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Dumain. And gentle Longaville, where lies thy pain? And where my lieges? All about the breast.
Are we thus betrayed to thy overview?
Not you to me, but I betrayed by you. I that am honest. I that hold it sin to break the vow I am engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men like men of inconstancy. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme, or groan for love?
God bless the king!
What present hast thou there?
I beseech your grace, let this letter be read. A parson misdoubts it. 'Twas treason, he said.
Berowne, read it over. Where hast thou it?
Of Costard.
Where hadst thou it?
Of Dramadio.
How now? What is in you? Why dost thou tear it?
Troy, my liege, Troy, your grace need not fear it.
Well, it did move him to passion, therefore let's hear it.
Is Berowne's writing. Here's his name.
God, you whoreson loggerhead, you were born to do me shame. Guilty, my lord, guilty. I confess.
What?
That you three fools elect me fool to make up the mess. He and you, my lord, and I are pick purses in love, and we deserve to die.
And now the number is even.
Hence, sirs, away.
Walk aside the true folk and let the traitor stay.
Sweet lords, sweet lovers, oh, let us embrace. As true we are as flesh and blood can be, we cannot cross the cause why we were born. Thereby of all hands must we be forsworn.
But did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Did they, quoth you? Who sees the heavenly Rosaline dares look on the heaven of her brow that is not blinded by her majesty?
What zeal, what fury hath inspired thee now? My love, her mistress, is a gracious moon. She, an attending star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, nor I Berowne. Oh, but for my love, day would turn to night. Of all complexions the cold sovereignty do meet. I set a fair in her fair cheek, where several worthies make one dignity, where nothing wants that want itself doth seek.
To look like her, our chimney sweeper's black.
And since her time, our colliers counted bright.
Why, your mistresses dare never come in rain, for fear their colors should be washed away.
For good yours did. For, sir, to tell you plain, I'll find a fairer face not washed today.
Why, I'll prove her fair, or talk till doomsday here.
What of this? Are we not all in love?
Nothing so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat. And good Berowne, now prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
Some authority on how to proceed.
Some salve for perjury.
That is more than need. Have at you then, affection's men-at-arms. Consider what you first did swear unto. To fast, to study, and to see no woman. Flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. And where that you have vowed to study, lords, and that each of you have forsworn his book, can you still dream and pore and thereon look? For when would you, my lord, or you, have found the ground of study's excellence without the beauty of a woman's face? You have in that forsworn the use of eyes. Learning is but an adjunct to ourself, and where we are, our learning likewise is. Then when ourselves we see in ladies' eyes, do we not likewise see our learning there? Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords, and in that vow we have forsworn our books. Other slow arts entirely keep the brain, but love, first learning in a lady's eyes, is not alone inured in the brain, but courses as swift as thought in every power. From women's eyes, this doctrine I derive. They are the books, the arts, the academes that show, contain, and nourish all the world. Fools you were, these women to forswear. Let us once lose our oath to keep ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths.
St. Cupid, then, and soldiers to the field.
Advance your standards, and upon them, lords, pell-mell, down with them.
Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some entertainment for them in their tents.
We will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape.
Away, away, no time shall be omitted. That will betime, and may by us be fitted.
Allons, allons, so cackle reap no corn, and justice always whirls in equal measure. Light wenches may prove plagues to men forsworn. If so, our copper buys no better treasure.
I praise God for you, sir. Your reasons at dinner have been sharp and sententious, pleasant without scurrility, witty without affection, audacious without impotency, learned without opinion, and strange without heresy. I did converse this quantum day with a companion of the king, who is entitled, nominated, or called Don Adriano de Armado.
Oh, his humor is lofty, his discourse peremptory, his tongue filed, his eye ambitious, his gait majestical, and his general behavior vain, ridiculous, and thrasonical. Oh, he is too picked, too spruce, too affected, too odd, as it were, too peregrinate, as I may call it.
A most singular and choice epithet.
He draweth out the thread of his verbosity finer than the staple of his argument. Oh, I abhor such fanatical fantasies, such insociable and point-devised companions, huh?
Desne quis venit?
Video et gaudio.
Men of the peace, well in the count.
Most military, sir! Salutation!
Sir Costard, they have been at a great feast of languages and stolen the scraps.
Oh, they have lived long on the alms basket of words. I marvel thy master hath not eaten thee for a word, for thou art not so long by the head as honorific abilitudinidadibus. Thou art easier swallowed than a flapdragon.
Peace, the peal begins.
Monsieur, are you not lettered?
Yes, yes. He teaches the boys the horn book. What is A, B, spelled backwards with the horn on its head?
Oh, bah, Poritia, with a horn added.
Bah, most silly, sheep with a horn. You hear, Isabel.
Now by the salt wave of the Mediterranean, a sweet touch, a quick venue of wit, snip, snap, quick and ho, it rejoiceth my intellect, a true wit.
Offered by a child to an old man, which is whittled.
Artsman, preambulate. Do you not educate the youth at the charge house at the top of the mountain?
Or Mons, the hill, I do. Sans question.
Ah, sir, it is the king's most sweet pleasure and affection to congratulate the princess at her pavilion in the posteriors of this day, which the rude multitude call the afternoon at path.
Oh, the posterior of the day, most military, sir, is liable, congruent, and measurable for the afternoon. Well, the word is well called, chose, sweet, and apt.
Sir, the king is a noble gentleman, and my familiar, I do assure ye, very good friend. For I must tell thee, it will please his grace by the world sometime to lean upon my poor shoulder, and with his royal finger thus dally with my excrement, with my mustachio. But, sweetheart, let that pass. The very all of all is... But, sweetheart, I do implore secrecy. That the king would have me present the princess so sweet to Chuck with some delightful ostentation or a show or pageant or antique or a boom-a firework. Now, understanding that the curate and yourself are good at such eruptions and sudden breaking out of mirth, as it were, I have acquainted you with all to the end to crave your assistance.
Oh, well, sir, you shall present before her the 9 worthies.
Where will you find men worthy enough to present them?
Oh, well, Joshua, yourself, myself, and or this gallant gentleman, Judas Maccabeus. The swain, because of his great limb or joint, shall pass Pompey the Great. The page Hercules.
Sir, pardon my error. He is not quantity enough for that worthy's thumb. He is not so big as the end of his club.
Or shall I have audience? He shall present Hercules in minority.
Excellent device.
For the rest of the worthies?
I will play 3 myself.
Thrice worthy gentleman.
Via, good man, Doll. Thou hast spoken no word all this while.
Nor understood none neither, sir.
Allons, we will employ thee, most dull, honest dull. To our sport, away.
Sweethearts, we shall be rich ere we depart. Look you what I have from the loving king.
Madam, came nothing else along with that?
Nothing but this. Yes, as much love and rhyme as was crammed up in a sheet of paper, writ o' both sides, leaf, margent, and all, that he was fain to seal on Cupid's name.
Well, that was the way to make his godhead wax, for he had been 5,000 years a boy.
Aye, and a shrewd and happy gallows too.
You'll ne'er be friends with him. He killed your sister.
Cupid made her melancholy, sad, and heavy, and so she died. Had she been light, like you, of such a merry, nimble, stirring spirit, she might have been a grandam ere she died. And so may you, for a light heart lives long.
We need more light to find your meaning out.
Ugh, you'll mar the light by taking it in snuff, therefore I'll darkly end the argument.
Look what you do it still in the dark.
And so do not you, for you are a light wench.
Indeed, I weigh not you, and therefore light.
Oh, you weigh me not. That's you care not for me.
Great reason, for past cure is still past care.
Well bandied both, a set of wit well played. But Rosaline, you have a favor too.
Nay, I have verses too, I thank Berowne. The number is true, and were the numbering too, I were the fairest goddess on the ground. Oh, he hath drawn my picture in his letter.
Anything like?
Not in letters, nothing in the praise.
Beauteous as ink, a good conclusion.
Fair as a text be in a copybook.
But Catherine, what was sent to you from fair Dumain?
Madam, this glove.
Did he not send you twain?
Aye, madam, and moreover, some 1,000 verses of a faithful lover. A huge translation of hypocrisy, vilely compiled. Profound simplicity.
This and these pearls to me sent Longaville. The letter is too long by half a mile.
I think no less. Dost thou not wish in heart that the chain were longer and the letter short?
Aye, or I would these hands might never part.
We are wise girls for mocking our lovers so.
They are worse fools to purchase mocking so. That same Berowne I'll torture ere I go. Oh, that I knew he were but in by the week, how I would make him fawn and beg and seek and shape his service wholly to my hest and make him proud to make me proud. jest. So per Tom's like, would I o'ersway his state that he should be my fool, and I his fate?
None are so surely caught when they are catch, as wit turned fool, folly in wisdom hatched. Oh, here comes Boyer with mirth in his face.
Oh, I am stabbed with laughter. Where's her grace?
Thy news, Boyer.
Prepare, madam. Prepare. Wenches, love doth approach disguised. Armed in argument, you'll be surprised. Under the cool shade of a sycamore, I thought to close mine eyes some half an hour, when, lo, to interrupt my purpose rest, toward that shade I might behold, addressed, the king and his companions. Warily, I stole into a neighbor thicket by, and overheard what you shall overhear, that by and by, disguised they will be here.
But what? Come they to visit us?
Oh, they do. And they're apparelled thus, like Muscovites, or Russians, as I get. Now, their purpose is to parley, to course, to dance, and every one his love feet will advance unto his several mistress, which they'll know by favors several which they did bestow.
And will they so? The gallants shall be tasked, for ladies, we shall all be masked. Hold, Catherine, this favor thou shalt wear, so shall the king court thee for his dear. Hold, take thou this, my sweet, and give me thine, so shall Berowne take me for Rosaline. And change your favors too, so shall your loves woo contrary, deceived by these removes.
On then, where the favors most in sight?
But in this changing, what is your intent?
The effect of my intent is to cross theirs. Their several counsels they unbosom shall, two loves mistook, and so be mocked withal.
There's no such sport as sport by sport o'erthrown, to make theirs ours, none but our own.
The trumpet sounds. Be masked. The maskers come.
All hail the richest beauties on the earth that ever turn their backs to mortal view.
Their eyes, villain, their eyes.
That ever turn their eyes to mortal views. Out of...
True. Out indeed.
Out of your favors, heavenly spirits vouchsafe not to behold.
Once to behold, rogue.
Once to behold with your sunbeamed eyes. With your sunbeamed eyes.
They will not answer to that epithet. You are best to call it a daughter-beamed eyes.
They do not mark me, and that brings me out.
Is this your perfectness? Begone, you rogue!
Oh, what with these strangers? Know their minds, Boyer, if they do speak our language, 'tis our will.
What would you with the princess?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
What would they say, they?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
Why, that they have. And bid them so be gone.
She says you have it, and you may be gone.
Say to her, we have measured many miles to tread a measure with her on the grass.
They say they have measured many miles to tread a measure on this grass.
It is not so. Ask them how many inches is in 1 mile. If they have measured many, the measure then of one is easily told.
If so, come hither, you have measured miles, and many miles. The lady bids you tell how many inches doth fill up 1 mile.
Tell her we measure them with weary steps.
She hears herself.
How many weary steps of many weary miles you have o'ergone are numbered in the travel of 1 mile?
We number nothing that we spend for you. Vouchsafe to show the sunshine of your face, that we, like savages, may worship it.
My face is but a moon, and clouded too.
Blessed are clouds, to do as such clouds do. Vouchsafe, bright moon, and these thy stars to shine, those clouds removed upon our watery eye.
Play music then. Nay, you must do it soon. Not yet. No dance. Thus change I like the moon.
Will you not dance? How come you thus changed?
Well, you took the moon at full, but now she's changed.
Since you are strangers and come here by chance, we'll not be nice. Take hands. We will not dance.
If you deny to dance, let's hold more chat.
In private, then.
I am best pleased with that.
White-handed mistress, once sweet were with thee.
Honey, milk, and sugar. There's 3.
One word in secret?
Let it not be sweet.
Oh, thou grievest my gall.
Gall, bitter.
Therefore,
Will you vouchsafe with me to change a word?
Name it.
Fair lady.
Say so. Fair lord, take that for your fair lady.
So please it you as much in private, then I bid you adieu.
What was your vizard made without a tongue?
You have a double tongue within your mask, and would afford my speechless wizard half.
Take all and wean it. It may prove an ox.
Oh, look how you butt yourself on these sharp mocks. Will you give horns too, sweet lady? Do not so.
Then die a calf before your horns do grow.
Oh, 1 word with you in private, ere I die?
Bleat softly then. The butcher hears you cry.
The tongues of mocking wenches are as keen as is the razor's edge invisible, cutting a smaller hair that may be seen above the sense of sense.
Not 1 word more. My maids, break off. Break off.
by heaven, all dry beaten with pure scar.
Farewell, mad wenches. You have simple wits.
20 adieus, my frozen Muscovits.
Wits so wondered at.
Tapered they are, and with your sweet breaths puffed out.
Well-liking wits they have. Gross, gross, fat, fat.
Oh, poverty in wit, kingly port flout. They will not think you hang themselves tonight, or ever but in vizard show their faces.
Oh, they were all in such lamentable cases. The king was weeping ripe for a good word.
Berowne did swear himself out of all suit.
Dumain was at my service, and his sword. No point, quoth I, my servant straight was mute.
Lord Longaville said, I came o'er his heart, and true what he told me.
qualm perhaps.
Yes, in good faith.
Will they return?
No, they will. No, they will, God knows. And leap for joy, though they are lame with blows. Therefore, change favors, and when they repair, blow like sweet roses in the summer air. Ladies, withdraw. The gallants are at hand.
Whip to our tents as Rose run or land.
Fair sir, God save you. Where's the princess?
No, gone to a tent, please it your majesty. Command me any service to her thither?
That she vouchsafe me audience for one word.
I will, and so will she, I know, my lord.
This gallant pins the wenches on his sleeve. Had he been Adam, he had tempted Eve. This you'll be nice. The ladies call him sweet. The stairs as he treads on them kiss his feet. And consciences that will not die in debt pay him the due of honey-dung the boyette.
A blister on his sweet tongue with my heart that put Armado's page out of his part.
See where it comes. See where it comes.
All hail, sweet madam, and fair time of day. We came to visit you, and purpose now to lead you to our court. Vouchsafe it then.
This field shall hold me, and so hold your vow. Nor God nor I delights in perjured men.
Rebuke me not for that which you provoke. The virtue of your eye must break my oath.
You nickname virtue. Vice you should have spoke, for virtue's office never breaks men's troth. So much I hate to be a breaking cause of heavenly oaths vowed with integrity.
Oh, you have lived in desolation here, unseen, unvisited, much to our shame.
Not so, my lord. It's not so, I swear. We've had pastimes here and pleasant game. A mess of Russians left us but of late.
How, madam? Russians?
Aye, in truth, my lord.
We four indeed confronted were with foreign Russian habit. Here they stayed an hour and talked apace, and in that hour, my lord, they did not bless us with one happy word. I dare not call them fools, but this I think, when they are thirsty, fools would fain have drink.
This jest is dry to me. Fair gentle sweetness, thy wit makes wise things foolish. And when we greet with eyes best seeing, heaven's fiery eye, by light we lose light. And your capacity is of that nature that to your huge store, wise things seem foolish, and rich things but poor.
This proves you wise and rich, for in my
I am a
eyes-
fool and full of poverty, but I am yours, and all that I possess.
All the fool mine.
I cannot give you less.
Which of the vizards was it that you wore?
When, where, what wizard, why demand you this?
There, then, that vizard. That superfluous case that hid the worser and showed the better face.
We are descried. Don't mock us now, downright.
Let us confess and turn it to a jest.
Amazed, my lord. Why looks your highness sad?
He'll hold his brows, he'll swoon. Why looks thou pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy.
Ah, pour the stars down, plagues for perjury. Here stand I, lady, dart thy skill at me, thrust with thy sharp wit quite through my ignorance. Cut me to pieces with thy keen conceit, and I will wish thee nevermore to dance, nor nevermore in Russian habit wait. Tap into phrases, silken terms precise, three-piled hyperboles, Bruce affectation, I do forswear them. So God help me, love. My love to thee, the sound, sans crack or flaw.
Sans, I pray you.
not here, but even now disguised?
Madam, I was.
When you then were here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear?
That more than all the world, I did respect her.
When she shall challenge this, you will reject her.
Upon mine honor, no.
Peace, peace, forbear. Your oath once broke, you'll force not to forswear.
Despise me when I break this oath of mine.
I will, therefore keep it. Catherine, what did the Russian whisper in your ear?
Madam, that he did hold me dearest, precious eyesight, and did value me above all this world. Adding thereto, moreover, that he would wed me or else die my lover.
Oh.
Madam, what means you? By my life, my troth, I never swore this lady such an oath.
Oh, by heaven, you did! And to prove it plain, you gave me this, but take it, sir, again.
My faith, in this the princess I did give. I knew her by this jewel on her sleeve.
Pardon me, sir. This jewel did she wear?
I see the trick on't. Here was a consent, knowing aforehand of our merriment, to dash it like a Christmas comedy. Some fairy tale, some please men, some slight zany, some mumble news, some trencher knight, some dick who smiles his cheek in gears and knows the trick to make my lady laugh when she's disposed, told our intents before. Which once disclosed, the ladies did change favors, and then we, following the sign, wooed but the sign of she. And as to our perjury to add more terror, we are again forsworn in will and error.
Full merrily hath this brave marriage, this career been run.
No, he is tilting straight. Peace, I have done. Welcome, good heart, thou partest a fair fray.
Oh, Lord, sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no.
What, are there but three?
No, sir, but it is verifying for everyone presents three.
And 3 times thrice is 9.
Not so, sir. Under correction, sir. I hope it is not so.
Well, by Jove, I always took 3 threes for 9.
Oh, Lord, sir. It were pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir.
Art thou one of the worthies?
It pleased him to think me worthy of Pompey the Great. For mine own part, I know not the degree of the worthy, but I understand for him.
Go, bid them prepare.
We will turn it finely off, sir. We will take some care.
Berowne, they will shame us. Let them not approach.
We are shame-proof, my lord. Besides, 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king's and his company.
I say they shall not approach.
Nay, let me overrule you now, that sport best pleases that doth least know how. Their form confounded makes most form in mirth, when great things laboring perish in their birth.
A right description of our sport, my lord.
Anointed, I implore you so much expense of thy royal sweet breath as will utter a brace of words.
Doth this man serve God?
Why, ask you?
He speaks not like a man of God's making.
That is all the one, my sweet, honey monarch. For I protest the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical, too vain. But we will put it, as they say, to a fortuna de la guerre.
Here is like to be a good presence of worthies. The ship is under sail, and here she comes amain.
da 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 da. I Pompey am.
You lie. You are not he.
I Pompey am. The name the big.
The great.
It is great, sir. Pompey, name the great. That off in field with carved and sailed did make my foes to sweat. And traveling along this coast, I did come here by chance to lay my arms before the legs of this sweet lass of France. If your ladyship would say, thanks, Pompey, I had done.
Great thanks, great Pompey.
'Tis not so much worth, but I hope I was perfect. I made a little fault in great.
I had to a halfpenny. Pompey proves the best wordy.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north, and south, I spread my conquering might. My scutcheon plain declares that I am Alexander.
Your nose says no, you are not, for it stands to rights.
Your nose smells no in this most tender-smelling night.
The conqueror is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander.
And in the world I lived, I was the world's commander.
Yeah, well, most true, 'tis right you were so, Alexander.
Pompey the Great!
Your servant and Costard.
Yeah, take away the conqueror. Take away Alexander.
Oh, sir. You have overthrown Alexander the Conqueror. You will be scraped out of the painted cloth for this. A conqueror and a fear to speak. Run away for shame, Alexander.
Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Cerberus, that three-headed Canis, and when he was a child, a babe, a shrimp, thus did he strangle serpents in his manus. Keep some state in thy exit and vanish. Judas I am.
Judas.
Not Iscariot, sir. Judas I am, eclipsed Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus clipped is plain Judas.
What Judas I am.
More shame for you, Judas.
What mean you, sir?
To make Judas hang himself.
Begin, sir. You are my elder.
Well followed. Judas was hanged on an elder.
I will not be put out of countenance.
Because thou hast no face.
What is this?
A cittern head.
The head of a bodkin.
There's a death's face in the ring.
The face of an old Roman coin, scarce seen.
St. George's half cheek in a brooch. Now, forwards, for we have to countenance.
You have put me out of countenance.
False where we have given thee faces.
But you have outfaced them all.
If thou wert a lion, we would do so.
Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go. And so adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay?
For the latter end of his name.
From the ass to the Jew, give it him, Judas. Away.
Oh, this is not generous, not gentle, not humble.
A light for Monsieur Judas. It grows dark. He may stumble.
Alas, poor Maccabeus, how hath he been baited?
Hold thy head, Achilles. Here comes Hector in arms.
But is this Hector?
I think Hector was not so clean timbered.
His leg is too big to be Hector's.
It cannot be Hector.
The omnipotent Mars of lances, the Almighty, gave Hector a gift.
A gift nutmeg!
A lemon!
Swept with cloves.
Oh, cloven.
Peace, peace. The omnipotent Mars of lances, the Almighty, gave Hector a gift, the heir of Ilion, a man so uplifted that certain he would fight from morn until night. Out of his pavilion, I am that flower.
That mint.
That columbine.
A sweet Lord Longaville, a rain thy tongue.
I must rather give it rain, for it runs against Hector.
The way the roar man is a dead and a rotten. A sweet chucks. There beat not the veins of the barbarian. A sweet royalty. Bestow on me the sense of hearing.
Speak, brave Hector. We are much delighted.
This Hector, far surmounted Hannibal, departing is gone.
Hello, Hector. She is gone. She is 2 months on her way.
What meanest thou?
Faith, unless you play the honest Troy and the poor wench is cast away, Jaquenetta is quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours.
Dost thou infeminize me among potentates? Thou shalt die!
Then shall Hector be whipped for Jaquenetta that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey that is dead by him.
Most rare Pompey.
Most renowned Pompey.
Great Pompey. Pompey the huge.
Hector trembles.
Pompey is moved. Oh, more attays. Stir them on.
Hector will challenge him.
By the North Pole, I do challenge thee.
I'll not fight with a pole like a northern man. I'll slash. I'll do it by sword.
A room for the insensate worthies.
I'll do it in my shirt.
Most resolute Pompey.
Master, let me take you but a buttonhole over. Do you not see that Pompey is uncasing for the combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation.
Gentlemen and soldiers, pardon me, I will not combat in my shirt.
You may not deny it. Pompey hath made the challenge.
The naked truth of it is I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance.
God save you, madam.
Huh?
Welcome, Mercade. But that interrupted our merriment.
I'm sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father,
dead. For my life.
And so, my tale is told. Worthies away! The scene begins to cloud.
How fares your majesty?
Voyez, prepare, I will away tonight.
Madam, not so. I do beseech you stay.
Prepare, I say! I thank you. gracious lords, for all your fair endeavors, and entreat out of a new sad soul that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits. For boldly we have borne ourselves in converse of breath, your gentleness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lords. Heavy heart bears not a nimble tongue. Excuse me so coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained.
The extreme parts of time extremely forms all causes to the purpose of his speed, and often at his very loose decides that which long process could not arbitrate. Yet, since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow jostle it from what it purposed, since to wail friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found.
I understand you not. My griefs are double.
Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief, and by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes have we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humors even to the opposite end of their intents. Our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. We to ourselves prove false, by being once fools, for ever to be true to those that make us both. Fair ladies, you.
We have received your letters full of love, your favors, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship, a pleasant jest, a courtesy. But more devout than this in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like merriment.
Madam, our letters showed much more than grief.
As did our looks.
We did not quote them, so.
Now, at the latest minute of the hour, grant us your loves.
A time methinks too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, no, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness. And therefore this, if for my love, as there is no such cause, this you will do what? This you shall do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all pleasures of the world. There stay until the 12 celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere and sociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging, thin weeds nip not the gaudy blossoms of your love, come, challenge me. Challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm, now kissing thine, I will be thine.
If this, or more than this, I do deny, to flatter up these powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye. My heart is ever in thy breast.
What to me, my love? What to me? A wife?
Oh, not so. My lord, a 12-month and a day. I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooer say. Come when the king doth to my lady come, then if I have much love, I'll give you some.
I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then.
Yet swear not, lest ye be forsworn again.
What says Maria?
At 12 months' end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend.
I will stay with patience. Oh, though time is long.
The like are you, few taller are so young.
Studies my lady? Mistress, look on me. Impose some service on me, for thy love.
Oft have I heard of you, my lord Berowne, before I saw you, and the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts. To read this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please, you shall, this 12-month term from day to day, visit the speechless sick, and still converse with groaning wretches. And your task shall be, with all the fierce endeavor of your wit, to enforce the pained impotent to smile.
To move wild laughter in the throat of death? It cannot be, it is impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony.
A just prosperity lies in the ear of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then, if sickly ears, deaf with the clamors of their own dear groans, will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I'll have you and that fault withal. But if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I will find you empty of that fault, right glad of your reformation.
A 12-month will befall what will befall. I'll jest a 12-month in the hospital.
Aye, sweet my lord. So I take my leave.
Madam, not so. We will bring you on your way.
Our wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy.
Sir, it wants a 12-month and a day, then 'twill end.
That's too long for a play.
Sweet Majesty, vouchsafe me.
Was not that Hector?
I am a votary. I have vowed to Jaquenetta to hold the plow for her sweet love 3 years. But, most esteemed greatness, will you hear the dialogue that the two learned men have compiled in praise of the owl and the cuckoo? It should have followed in the end of our show.
Call them forth quickly. We will do so.
Spring, when daisies pipe and violets bloom, and cuckoo buds of yellow hue, and to paint the meadows with delight. The cuckoo then on every tree mocks merry men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, cuckoo, oh word of fear, unpleasing to a merry ear. The cuckoo then on every tree mocks married men, for thus sings he, cuckoo, cuckoo, oh word of fear, unpleasing to a merry. Winter, when icicles hang by the wall, and Dick the shepherd blows his nail, and Tom bears logs into the hall, and milk comes frozen home in pail. When blood is nipped and ways be foul, then nightly sings the staring owl. To wit, to a merry note, while greasy Jane doth keel the pot, then nightly sings the staring owl. To wit, to a merry note, while greasy Joan doth keel the pot. The words of Mercury are harsh after the songs of Apollo. You that way, we this way.